Instruction at Golden Bear Golf Center. I'm here in one of our practice bunkers, and I want to help you understand why we do what we do to play the different lies from the bunker. The big difference is how we use the club face and the reasons why. Generally speaking, we can dial the club face open to dialing the club face closed, and it all has to do with the lie of the ball and the condition of the sand. Only two types of sand to me. There's the powdery sand that we see, and then there's also the hard packed or wet sand. Those two different types of sands will determine somewhat what we do with the leading edge of the club. Do we open it, square it, or close it? When it comes to playing these shots, it also is determined by the lie of the ball. Is the ball sitting on top of the sand, slightly buried, or fully buried? Those will have another determining role in this. So what do we do and why? Well, for starters, the why is this. Bunker play is all about energy transfer. From the club, to the sand, to the ball. I don't want to hear a click in the bunker. We used to say it all the time. This is a no-click zone. If you're in a fairway bunker, I want to hear a click. Your green side and I hear a click is generally not a good thing to have. But when we're playing these shots, I don't want to hear a click. I want thud. I want to hear some thudding of the sand. Well, if the ball's sitting on top of the sand, do I really want to dig that deep and have to move all that weight of sand? You ever picked up a 40-pound bag of sand? It's not very big, but it is 40 pounds. So sand's heavy. So moving that much sand doesn't make any sense. So when I have this ball sitting above the sand, I open the club face to expose the bounce of the club so that I hit with this part of the club hitting the sand first. When I do that, the club skids along the sand. I don't dig too deep and the ball will get out. Doesn't even take a lot of swing. So I dig my feet in a little, open the club face some, make a swing. That's not a full swing, it's not full effort, it's just a swing. And I get the ball out of the sand. I take a nice divot here, but it's not horribly hard to do if you're committed to opening the club face. Well, what about this partially buried lie? Now I need to get deeper in the sand. How am I going to go about that? Well, that's fairly simple. Don't open the club face. This might be the easiest lie to get the ball out of the bunker with. If you get in the bunker, you see a partially buried lie, it's simple. Hit it like you're hitting a 40 or a 50-yard pitch shot. Square the club face, play the ball slightly back in your stance, and hit down. The sand is around the ball, probably fairly tightly packed, so more of the sand you're going to hit underneath is going to impact the ball. So it's going to come out. And remember, hitting down makes the ball go up. So, play it a little back in my stance, lean a little left. I've got the face square. I chop down. That's actually a very high bunker shot. It's not going to have a lot of spin. It's going to roll out. But the way I struck it made the ball pop up in the air. That's wonderful. It's a control shot. I know I can get it out. I know I'm going to get it on the green. I can actually do a pretty good job with that shot regularly. Now the hard shot's this one. The ball's buried. It's subterranean here. I've got to work hard to get that club underneath it or to get the sand underneath the ball moving towards the target. Well, it sounds hard, but reality is it's a pretty simple shot. It requires a little bit of trust and a little bit of practice though. What I'm going to tell you to do is turn the club face in. By turning it in, you allow the club to knife into the sand and go deeper. As the club goes deeper, it's easy to get the ball up in the air. I'm going to make an exaggerated motion here. I'm going to turn the club in almost 90 degrees. So what's going to happen here? Am I going to make a swing and pull my foot out of the way to make sure I don't hit myself in the shin? No, not hardly. The direction of the swing is still at the target, so the momentum of the sand is going to go that way. All I'm going to do is make sure that I knife into the sand just outside the ball. This is how it works. Again, I got a real high flight out of that. You can see that if you bring it back and watch it again, you'll see the ball jump straight up in the air. Yet I did it with a club face that looks like this. And when I'm coming into the ball, I promise you the club looks like this. It doesn't look like this. I'm not using the loft of the club. I'm using physics. If I hit down, the sand goes up. I know this takes a little practice and it takes a little mental fortitude to get this done, but if you'll take a moment, spend a little time in a bunker, preferably early in the morning this time of year, you'll get it figured out. I know this type of practice will help you. Get in the bunker, hit some partially buried and buried lies, and see if you can't figure it out for yourself.